everyone, my name is Rebekah and I'm a part of the Aware of Anemia team. In today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to be talking about my personal experience with anemia, and I'm excited to share my story with y'all. Some of you guys might not know the story. I'm not very open about it, but I'm willing to share for this awareness campaign. So let's get started. I have a little bit of these questions that were sent to me from my team, Kavi and Atharv, and so I'm so excited to share the story. So let's get into it. So the first question is, when did you first find out you had anemia? So I first found out I had anemia. Well, this is a little bit of a crazy story. But I found out in a really bad way. So I was running in for an experiment that we were doing. We were told to run as fast as we can, and that did not end up well for me. I felt fine afterwards, but then when I was walking back to class, I was super dizzy. I couldn't walk in a straight line. My vision was blurring, and I've had extreme nausea. And so I told my teacher, I was like, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. I didn't say anything then. I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. But then when I was in the bathroom, I realized I could not be alone. And so I went back to the classroom and I just put my head on the table. Luckily, my best friend was right next to me, and I was like, hey, I'm not okay right now. I need you to go tell my teacher, to tell our teacher that something's wrong, And so, yeah, I went home. I came back to class that day because I got better. To classes that day because I got better, yeah. And so then my parents made an appointment because we're a little bit worried that I was having some weird things that never happened to me before. So we made an appointment and they did some test results and got my blood work done, and I found out I was anemic. So that was the first time, yeah. Okay, second question. You're gonna get more depth into it as I go through the questions, but I just want to make sure I answer the questions right. So, what symptoms made you realize something was wrong? So, the thing about anemia is you could technically never know you have anemia because it's you're already tired and fatigued from your normal busy schedule. So I would have never known, and I never would have thought I had anemia. So it was kind of a shock to me. How did you feel when you were first diagnosed? So I was a little bit I didn't really think much of it. I mean, a lot of people have anemia. It's very common for people to have anemia, so I didn't think much of it. Was it hard for you to get an official diagnosis, or did doctors find it quickly? So my doctors found it really quick. First blood test I did, they found out I had anemia. What type of anemia do I have? So I have the most common one, iron deficiency anemia. It's not fun, but I have iron deficiency anemia. Moving on, what kind of treatments or supplements are you currently using? So this is going to be a little bit of a long story. I started off, I was prescribed these iron pills, and I first of all have a very sensitive stomach, so these pills were supposed to be gentle to your stomach, and let's just say it was quite the opposite. It was very bad. I had severe stomach pain. If you saw me, I was sitting with the heating pad. I was severely fatigued. I was so tired. The symptoms came out really bad afterwards, and I would just be sleeping all the time. I just wanted to sleep all the time. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to stay home all the time because that's how tired. I just feel I didn't have any energy. And then I was severe nausea, and that started there, and I still continued to have it, but it was really bad, and that just ruined a lot of things. And so I took those pills for 3 months, and let's just say, so after 3 months for everything, I just have to check my levels, to see if it's working. And so I checked my levels in December, and I found out that nothing had absorbed, no iron was absorbed, nothing had worked. I took those pills. So basically, I just got really frustrated because I was taking those pills that made me feel horrible for no reason. It didn't work at all. But with this whole process, it's trial and error, and that's the worst part of it, because I just went through all that pain for no reason. But it's okay, because I found out that didn't work for me. And it also took me a long time to get to my hematology. The hematology is the blood doctors, and they specialize in the blood and everything. And so I was referred from my normal doctor to someone else, and it was like a long process, and I finally got to hematology, and I had to decide to do me and my parents decided to do an IV infusion, and I actually met my hematologist like 2 days before the IV infusion. It's kind of funny because everything was just so last minute, because like I found out I was severely anemic in December. Like, it was really bad. I was really low, and it was like the lowest I've obviously ever been, and it was like so bad that I just needed an infusion right away. And so there was 2 options when I came down to infusions. It was like there was one that was for 2 hours every week, and then there was one for 8 minutes every 6 months. So which one sounded better? This one to me, obviously. And so, but the thing is that one had this one was like very expensive, okay? And so it was hard to get insurance to cover it, but the insurance covered it, so I'm very thankful and grateful, because it's better than going in every week to get an infusion done. And it was my hematology, I love them so much. They're the sweetest people ever. That infusion center, they're super sweet. And I actually, some of you guys might have known I had anemia, but some of you might have not known that I have had it 2 times. It came back after my December infusion. It came back in the summer, this past summer. So I found out I was just as bad as December in August. I found that out. I would never have known. I felt like perfectly like fine. I was like tired or fatigued, but I didn't like think much of it. I was doing a lot in the summer, and so I was just like really sad and frustrated again, because I knew why I was I had a feeling because something like an incident happened in June, but because I'm also going through other health problems which is causing my anemia. But in July I took the steps to like treat the other problems. So everything's like trial and error. So I'm like trying to like treat the other problem. And so right now I'm just, I'm cured obviously, because I got my infusion actually for 2 days before retreat, or right before my classes started this year. And now I'm like good. My levels are really good, but luckily the insurance also covered it again, because it was 2 times in like the past like 6 months for them to cover it, and it's expensive already, so I'm really grateful that they covered it. Okay, so that's my experience. How long did it take before you started feeling better after treatment? So with the IV infusion, it took me around 3 weeks to finally see like some results. But like in the first like couple of weeks, people were like, "Becca, your glow is coming back to you," and that was really nice to hear, because it felt like I did lose a little bit of myself when I was going through and taking the supplements, because it was really hard for me. Have you ever had any side effects from iron pills or other treatments? I already talked about the iron pills and how bad my symptoms were, and side effects were. With the infusion, I barely had any side effects. It did hurt when the IV was going in. It was like, basically, if you guys don't understand, infusion was just like iron going straight into my bloodstream, and so it did hurt my whole arm when it was going in, so they had to put like a warm compress the first time. The second time I just like pushed through it, so it was like fine. And then I had like severe nausea during that too, the first one. The second one I was okay, I'm pretty sure. I see, like, my memory is kind of bad, but like, yeah. How do you manage energy levels on a daily basis? It was really hard for me. Like, I honestly don't know how I did it. Everything is possible though through God, and so that's how I went through it, because I couldn't have gone through it. It was so hard, but everyone was pretty understanding. The teachers that did know what I was going through, they were really understanding. Miss Peterson, like, she knew about it, and she was like the sweetest, like, she was like always checking in on me, so I was very grateful for that. I think another thing is like time management. I just like really tried to try my best when I got home to just like lock in and focus and do the work. Another thing with like dealing with anemia is you have all these symptoms, but I dealt with like a lot of brain fog, so it was hard for me to concentrate and like comprehend what was being like taught to me, or like what I was like learning and stuff like that. So it was like really hard in that way. One thing that helped you the most when you're feeling tired or weak, I napped a lot. I don't know what else would work, honestly, because there's nothing you can really do. You're gonna feel tired a lot, so just take the rest you need. Like, don't fight the rest sometimes. Like, if you need to sleep and take a nap, like, just do it. Did you have to change your diet because of anemia? So yes and no and yes. Basically, when I was anemic, like it was that severe that like no diet changes would have helped me. Like my dad asked the doctor, was like, oh, like should she like focus on eating like certain foods, and they were like, no, it doesn't even matter at this point, like none of it would work, none of it would help her. But now that I'm like cured and I need to keep like maintaining my levels, I do have like a diet that I like stick to, or like things I like make sure I'm eating, like lots of meat, broccoli, spinach, raspberries. There's something that my culture we eat a lot. It's like paprika, and it's very iron filled. Let's just say that I could taste that iron, but I kind of hate it. So, but you have to force yourself to eat some of this stuff. My dad's always telling me like, Becca, eat your beef and stuff like that. But as a little girl, I'll be eating my beef. Anyways, so yeah, that's my diet changes. How does anemia affect your school, work, or social life? So this is now past tense, obviously, because I'm not anemic right now. So, with school, I just felt like everything was out of control. Like my grades, I just felt like I couldn't do anything the best that like I like to do, and I have like a certain mindset that I always like to put the best into everything that I do, and it just felt like I couldn't do that with like dealing with anemia. Social life, I already talked about it in like the school aspect a lot already, but like social life, like I felt like I just was watching life pass by. I didn't feel like I was able to experience a lot of the things I would like want to experience. Like I wasn't able to hang out with my friends a lot during that time, because I just like, when you have anemia, you feel like all the energy is sucked out of you and you just don't want to do anything. And I also had like severe symptoms, like I said before, and I just felt like I just didn't want to go because I just always felt like nauseous, or I was in pain or stuff like that, and I just didn't want to do anything. I also, another thing that anemia taught me was like who my true people were in my life. I think it really tested some of my relationships around me, and I was able to find like the true people, but I also like saw people who were not who I thought they were. It really taught me who are the people that stick by you, not just in the good times, but also in the bad times. And that's something that anemia taught me. And so basically, like, I tell these people like every week, like, I appreciate them so much. Like, I don't know how to go through this without you. Like, I wouldn't be able to. You guys know who you are, so shout out to you. Now we're gonna be going into another question. So, do you ever feel misunderstood by people who don't know what anemia is like? Yeah, because I just think a lot of people have iron deficiency anemia in the first place, and supplements usually help them feel better. But like me, I had a different process, and it took me a while, and I had really bad side effects, so I don't think a lot of people realize that. But it's not like it's like, I don't know, I just don't think a lot of people realize how severe it can get and how bad it can get. What was the hardest part of living with anemia? The symptoms, guys. Like, it was so bad. Okay. Are there any things you can't do now that you used to enjoy before? One thing I kind of steer away from is doing like physical activity, or too much physical activity, because that's how I first found out I was anemic. And I'm just very careful. Maybe it's just from like the trauma, or like just for like my mental health reasons. I just like stay away from it like more. Or also like just for my physical well-being, also like I'm just very careful with that stuff right now. And I just feel like a lot of people misunderstand why I'm not like always like participating in some stuff. It's only because I'm just very careful, and it's what I would think is best for me right now, when I'm like currently still navigating through this, and until I'm like for sure okay, like I just want to be careful. Do you think people know enough about anemia? No. People do not know enough about anemia. Based off of our last reel, like, you guys do not know that much, and it's okay. Like, you guys do need to be informed. I know a really good group that's doing some Aware of Anemia like awareness, and so they have an Instagram account called @hosta.anemia.awareness with 3 S's. So go check their page. On our page, guys, we have like a lot of info. Like, we have a Types Tuesday. We just posted about iron deficiency anemia. You can read all about it, and understand what is iron deficiency anemia. You can understand what anemia is in general. We have a definition in there. It's important to just first of all know that, and there's other information on that page, so go check it out. And how do you stay positive when dealing with anemia? So the only reason, okay, was a hard thing. Like, I just felt really sad during that time, and I just felt like I was going through a lot, and it's really important that first of all you have a good group of people that you surround yourself with and that are there for you. I had a mix of everything. It was like a little iffy, but I did have a good group of people. And yeah. Another big important thing for me, this is probably the main thing, is my faith, and I'm gonna go into this a little bit, but I wouldn't have been able to go through that without God, and just knowing that he has a plan and purpose for this, even though like I was like, why is this happening, and why, like, also when it came back, like I was just a little sad and frustrated with myself, but like I know that God has a bigger plan for all of this, and that when I was going through this stuff, like he gave me like peace and comfort through this whole thing, and that's the only reason why I made it through. I mean, like I was able to go through this and like come out like how I am now, and I'm just like really glad that I have this faith, and that it's honestly like strengthening my faith too, so I'm really glad, just like strengthen my faith. Yeah. Another thing is music is really important to me. If you guys don't know, I'm a musician, but listening to music in the first place really just suits me and calms me down when I get stressed or like I'm sad or just need a little like hype up, and also like when I play music or just like sing, like it's a way I let go of all my emotions that I'm feeling deep inside, and so that's really important to me. That's how I dealt with it. That's how I coped with it. What advice would you give someone who found out they have anemia? It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be hard. You're not gonna feel like you have any energy, but you're gonna make it through. Whatever supplements or treatments that your doctor gives you, it will help you. You will feel better, and you will gain your glow or energy back. You're gonna make it through. If you could tell your younger self one thing about living with anemia, what would it be? Girl, you're gonna make it. Like, even though it sucks right now, just keep pushing through, keep going. You got this, okay? Like, don't be sad. Don't be frustrated. Keep going. Yeah, so that's what I would say. That's what I would say to my younger self during this time, I think. But so guys, this is like a little bit of the end of the podcast now for this episode. I talked about my story. I really hope it encourages you, because it really does come from a place where like I've been through a lot, and now I'm just sharing it all with you. And even though I didn't really feel comfortable sharing it at first, I felt like it was important to share my story and like why we chose to do anemia as a topic, because it's something that like I went through, and then Kavya also knows because she was there with me when I was going through it, and so it's just really important to us, and that's why we chose this topic. And we felt like there's a lot of like awareness that needs to be brought to this topic, because I feel like it's overlooked sometimes, and it needs to be known because so many people go through it. Thank you for listening to my story. If you haven't listened to our first episode, go check that out and meet the team. Me, Kavya, and Adar, we're so happy to have you here. And we talk about what is anemia and the types of anemia. The next episodes, we're going to have some doctors coming in, and we're super excited to get so that they can give you some more insight about anemia and all of that. One of them should be my own doctor, and another one is a doctor I know, and so we're super excited. Thanks for watching. If you don't follow us on our Instagram, be sure to follow us. It's at hosa.anemia.awareness with 3 S's. Thank you guys. Love you all. Bye.